Good morning and welcome to 180 Days on the Inside. Today's topic is about school security. I'm Luke.
And I'm Jeremy. You may have noticed the new cameras in the halls of the school, and you may have many questions about these cameras and how they affect you, the students. For more on this, we'll go to Kurt, who answered some of these questions.
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm Kurt Jackson. I'm here to interview Mr. Lewis, the assistant principal at HHS. Mr. Lewis, why do we have the school camera system?
Well, I think the reason that we have school cameras is because we feel like that with the state that our society is and the situation that occurs in our community, that this technology would just make Hendersonville a safer environment.
And how does the school camera system work?
Okay, let me tell you a little bit of how it works. There are 16 cameras throughout the school. Each one of them is marked. And if there's a problem anywhere, we feel like we need to review a situation, then we can call up any one of these 16 frames, make it the entire size of the monitor, and run it back on the tape. We run the tapes 24 hours a day, and we have a tape for each day of the week, and that's the way the system works.
Can the information that's tape recorded be used in a court of law?
Yes, most definitely it can. We've already had 2 or 3 situations here where the camera can be used in a court of law. It can be subpoenaed, just like someone's testimony.
Did the system cost the taxpayers any money?
No, it was not. It was done through funds that are generated through Hendersonville High School.
How does the system influence the students' morale? Did it make a drop in crime or anything like that?
There was a conversation by the administrators, and I think all the administrators were very conscious of the fact that there would be an effect on student morale, that students would be offended by this camera, and that might outweigh the need for these cameras in other activities that we don't want to see take place.
Are there any other plans for any other security measures to be taken in HHS anytime soon?
Well, we will always monitor the technology and the problems that are occurring in our society that are walking into Hendersonville High School. We have the same problems that you find anywhere in society, and we're monitoring that situation. However, the security is that. It is not intended to be a threat against anyone. It is intended just to create a safe environment for Hendersonville High School.
Thanks for talking to us, Mr. Lewis, and answering our questions.
Always nice to talk to you, Kirk.
All right, let's go back to the studio.
Thanks, Kirk.
School security has been stepped up from last year. The Hendersonville Police Department has added a resource officer during school hours. With more on this story, we go to Jason with one of our resource officers.
Bad boy, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you?
I'm Jason Barnett, and I'll be talking with Officer Lassiter about being the school resource officer. So what do you think happened here that we would need to have a resource officer?
It wasn't a question of Hendersonville needing a resource officer. It was a question that Gallatin already has one, Beach is going to get one, a lot of the schools in Nashville have one. We're going next Tuesday out to Murfreesboro. Both of their schools have one, Oakland and Riverdale, and it's another position that we use as a community policing to help fight crime, educate people, and to let people know who we are and what we're about.
All right. Have you ever actually had to draw your weapon on the job?
We draw it occasionally, but I've never had to use it.
Do you think there's a gang problem in Hendersonville?
No,
You really don't?
I don't think so. I think there's 2 or 3 people that have come in from the outside that have been in gangs, that have knowledge of gangs, and would like to see gangs started. But as far as a problem in Hendersonville, we don't have a problem, and I don't foresee a problem in the near future.
That's good. Do the taxpayers pay your salary, or does the school, or?
I'm actually contracted out between the Hendersonville Police Department and Sumner County Board of Education. Their contract is that they pay my salary and they pay the insurance and taxes for my salary, and then the Hendersonville City picks up the tab for my car, my uniform, and everything else that I would use during the workday.
Why do you think the dress code here is so heavily enforced?
I wouldn't say you have a dress code here. Next year they're talking about going to a standardized dress. Standardized not meaning uniform, but meaning that everybody would wear certain types of clothing. Mm-hmm. It helps to have certain types of clothing so that you don't have problems with gang colors. Mm-hmm. You don't have problems with socio-economic factors, people that can't afford the best clothes, people that wear the best clothes, people that might look down on others that don't wear the best clothes. As far as a dress code here, we don't necessarily have a dress code. We just ask people to wear things that are appropriate for a school atmosphere.
All right, thanks for talking to us, and back to the studio.
Thanks, Jason. And speaking on the dress code, we now go to Angie, our news correspondent, who enlightened us on both sides of this issue.
Dress codes in our school today has become a big issue. As a public school, we have the privilege of dressing as we please to a certain extent. If we continue to violate this dress code, it would result in the loss of our privileges and maybe even wearing uniforms. But wearing uniforms, maybe we wouldn't have so many cliques or groups in school or distractions in the classroom. Then again, wearing uniforms could make us feel like a prison with stripes and numbers. Now, back to you, Luke.
Thanks, Angie. Up next, Mr. Redmond will speak to us about the rumors of a phone tracing system. So stay tuned.
I've been asked to explain to you about our famous donuts that we have here at Hendersonville High School. Some of the finest donuts known to man. Baked right here in Middle Tennessee, Krispy Kreme donuts. We have them right here at Hendersonville High School, 3 for $1, 4 for $1 every morning, right down in the study hall, outside the study rooms, outside the gym, for your eating pleasures. It's some of the finest eating known to man. Fresh as the morning breeze, just like they've been baked by your own mama right there at home. Some great, great eating. And remember this, if you don't know your donuts, know your donut man. And if Coach says it's so, it's gotta be so. And by the way, they're finger licking good.
Welcome back. Any of you that were here last year know that this school has no tolerance for bomb threats. It is rumored that the school has purchased a phone tracing system. Mr. Redmond elaborates.
We've installed a ID system here at the school for each line, I guess it was last year, so that we can tell what time a call comes in, then we can go and trace the number and see who called. So we did that strictly so we can be prepared for any emergency that might arise. That's really about it as far as the bomb threats. We're doing other things for security, but bomb threats, that's about all we can do.
Thank you, Mr. Redmond.
Even though school security has been stepped up, parking lot security is at an all-time low. Jason explains.
Hello, what's your name?
I'm Kevin Bridges.
Kevin Bridges. I'm Jason Barnett with 180 Days on the Inside. I'm here to talk to you about parking lot security. What are your views on the security in the parking lot now?
Personally, I think it's totally unnecessary. We did a fine job without it last year, so why we gotta have it this year?
What are your views on parking lot security?
Get away. Don't do it. Get away. I don't care.
Sir, what are your views on parking lot security at the school?
Not too good.
Not too good?
I
think it's not needed.
You think it's unneeded?
Yeah.
What if your car got broken into?
Well, I guess I'd find out who did it.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I'll just think about it later.
What are your views on parking lot security?
I don't know.
Does anyone here drive?
No.
Anyone?
I do.
What are your views on parking lot security?
Well, I guess since I don't want my car stolen and I don't want anything in my car taken, I guess it's a good idea unless they enforce it too forcefully.
That's a very forceful answer. Thank you.
Hi, Jason.
What are your views on parking lot security?
Parking lot security. I'm glad we have parking lot security. It's kind of like preventative medicine, you know, stop the problem before it starts.
Even though most people think parking lot security isn't a big problem at HHS, a lot of people do think it's a problem. Problems like people getting their cars keyed, stereos stolen, windows broken, etc. will not be tolerated at HHS. I'm Jason Barnett, your man on the street.
Thanks, Jason.
We've seen why we need cameras, resource officers, and better solutions to our parking lot security. But what do you think?
What are your views on the cameras and the police officers being in the school?
Well, I feel the cameras in the school are, I guess they're invading my space, I feel.
I really don't like the camera idea. I think the police officer thing's pretty good just because it'll keep us from getting like Hunter's Lane where we have to fear for our lives because of gang violence. It'll stop it before it ever gets that bad.
It's a prison, not a school no more. I can't.
Well, I think it's good. I guess it keeps everybody out of trouble and stuff. Keeps everybody, in good shape. So
Doesn't bother me. It's good.
I think they're a joke and a waste of money. Nothing goes on at Hendersonville.
I think it's really good because it cuts down on lots of the stuff that could go on.
How do you feel about the on-duty resource officer at school?
I think it's hilarious. They don't do anything but stand around. I think it's funny.
Do you feel safe with the new cameras and security officer at school?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you feel any different before the police officer was here?
No.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Do you feel safe with the new cameras and security officer at school?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know. It makes it, I guess, where they can patrol and see if other people are doing anything bad.
All right, thanks. Do you think you'll be safe when you come to school?
Yes.
All right, thanks. Excuse me. How do you feel about the cameras in the school?
I don't like them.
Why is that?
Because I think they're invading our privacy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I don't want to talk. I don't care about the cameras.
How do you feel about the cameras in the school?
I don't really care.
Sir, what do you think about the dress code here at school?
I hate the dress code. It's just, they make you they don't let you wear the stuff you want to wear. They make you have to wear this stuff you hate. So.
I'm your man on the street, Jason Barnett.
In our 180 days poll, it reveals that only 31% agree with the school cameras, while 69% do not.
It also shows that 29% favor a resource officer, while 71% do not.
Not surprisingly, 16% want some sort of dress code, while 84% feel that it would violate our rights.
Before we go, we wanted to find out if any other schools in the area have the same difficulties as we do.
Hi, I'm Kirk Jackson from 180 Days on the Inside. I just want to take a couple of seconds, maybe even a minute, and tell you a little bit about the school that I went to last semester. It was a Middle Tennessee school, and the differences between it and Hendersonville were phenomenal. The gangs were all over the place. You kind of almost had to be worried about walking to class sometimes in certain halls. The faculty and teachers were biased to the other percentage of students. It just wasn't like a great place to be. It's kind of frightening. But Hendersonville is a lot safer school to go to. At least you know you're safe. Your car's not going to be torn into. And I don't really care for the cameras any more than any of y'all do, but at least we're safe. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kurt. Before we go, we know that you may have disagreed or agreed with some of the stories you've seen, but you must remember the administration here at HHS has done this to protect and serve you, the students.
If you have any questions, comments, or compliments, please leave your responses with Mr. Barrett in Video Productions. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.